Hello, and welcome to Triggered Care. I'm Alex. I've been away for a while. During that while, I went through a lot of depression and psychotic episodes. This is due to me repeating old cycles of abuse with a friend that I considered very close and realizing that they were abusing me. And after realizing that, I went through a very severe depression where I hated myself quite a bit, just feeling stupid. And up to about a week ago, it was pretty bad. And then I finally clawed my way out of it. So that's what this video is about, is me clawing my way out of it, what that looks like, what realizations I had that helped me get out of a horrible slump. So, what I realized at the end of it was I have to accept myself to find peace and healthy friendships. This means accepting my mental instability and coping with it the best I can, and realizing I'm still a worthwhile human, even if I get sucked into cycles of abuse that make me feel stupid. I'm still worthwhile. And how I'm slowly putting that into practice. Allowing myself to talk to people when I feel awful. This has been very challenging for me because I always feel like I'm unbearable when I'm in a really bad depression. I feel like people don't want to talk to me, and I don't blame them because, of course, why would they? I'm always going through something. I'm always in pain, and I feel overbearing. And one thing that really helped me switch my perspective on that is thinking about the friends that I know who have completed suicide and wishing that they had reached out to me, wishing that they had talked to me, and realizing the impact that their death had on me and how much it hurt me, and how much that would, in turn, if I completed suicide, that would hurt people that I love very much. And in no way am I implying that suicide is selfish. It's not. It's out of desperation to get away from the pain. And I understand that very well. I also have a love for people that supersedes my need to get away from the pain. No matter how much pain I'm going through, I can't do that to my son because I love him more than I hate my pain. The next part that helped me move through this stuff was practicing self-forgiveness, which it's been really tricky for me to try to apply self-forgiveness to myself. I am so used to taking on all the blame from growing up, taking on blame so that my sisters wouldn't get in trouble, taking on the blame because I just figured, well, I can take it, so I might as well take it, and trying to protect people in that way, along with taking the blame when someone abuses me and I get and do the victim blaming of myself, of, well, I was too stupid to trust this person. Like, I knew that there was something off, but I didn't listen to that little voice in my head, so I deserve what abuse I got, and being stuck in that cycle of thinking. And what helps me get away from that is remembering I was raised by an abuser. And because I was raised by an abuser, the very first thing I learned about trust was trusting an abuser. That is a foundational thinking block for me. So when other abusers come into my life, it feels natural. It feels like chemistry. It feels like home. And I'm going to gravitate towards that home like feeling when I'm overwhelmed. And I've been overwhelmed a lot this year. I've been through a lot of trauma. I've been extremely sad and mourning people and mourning friendships and mourning all of the physical violence that's been done against me. So that will put me in a vulnerable spot where if I click with somebody that gives me that nostalgic feeling, I'm going to enable that friendship in order to feel relief, in order to feel comfort. Even though it's unhealthy, it's still a comfort. And that was put into my brain against my will while I was growing up. And so the best thing that I can do for myself is recognize that and be more mindful, because I will fall into friendships like this again. I might even fall into a relationship like this again. I don't know the future, but if my past tells me anything, when I'm hurting really bad, I attract to toxic people. One thing I can do about it is work on grounding, work on my healthy coping mechanisms, rely on my healthy friends to help keep me aware, to help me identify when I'm in that situation, and to kind of snap out of that nostalgic fog and to remove myself from it faster, which I have been making progress in that. My toxic relationships are lasting considerably shorter now than they once were. I am making progress. It's painful and it's hard, but I'm making it. And another thing, one of the last things I had to learn or had to really let sink into my body is taking pride in the progress I have made. And this has been difficult for me because I've always hated the feeling of pride. I've always associated pride with being mean, with like a narcissistic pride, since I saw a lot of that growing up. I've always tried to push myself in the opposite direction of that, which has made imposter syndrome a pretty constant for me, along with having a very difficult time accepting compliments. What progress I have made in this area is recognizing the fact that giving myself no acknowledgement or having no pride from the work that I've done is a self-delusionment. It is a false narrative that I feed myself for comfort, for that old nostalgia feeling. But it hurts me and it hurts the people that I'm around because it fosters a very unhealthy relationship with myself where my rage doesn't go outwards, it goes inwards. And if I want to really get away from toxic relationships, I have to work on my toxic relationship with myself and how I treat myself. And obviously, I'm still going to obsess about not being too prideful because that terrifies me, thinking that I am arrogant or that I have too much pride. But just acknowledging that I have done things that I should be proud of. I've worked on recovery really hard for a long time, and I've made huge strides in getting to a healthier place. Yeah, my life is still hard, and I'm still finding myself stuck in really crazy cycles of abuse, but I am learning about it, and I'm taking steps to get away from it, and that's worth acknowledging and feeling a little prideful about of, hey, I'm actually making a difference in my life, and I'm proud of that. And overall, I learned that self-respect must be learned if it's not taught. And I'm putting effort into learning it Even though it goes against my instincts in a lot of ways, survival has always been about keeping quiet and suffering alone. Hi, Simba. Thriving is about becoming healthy enough and loving yourself enough that you can fully love other people without draining yourself, and making it safe for other people to be vulnerable by showing them, hey, look, I have the capability to be vulnerable. That means it's safe enough for you to be vulnerable. And I've been through a lot, and I'm happy to be back. I'm happy that I'm out of the depression slump that was really intense. And it's nice to be grounded. So I hope everybody's having good ones. And, let's keep a positive attitude if we can through all the other stuff going on in the world right now. So, see ya.